YouTuber Nikita Dragon was forced to stay in a men's jail. Snoop Dogg, the movie, may be coming soon. Also, we watched Wakanda Forever. All that and more tonight on The Rundown. Welcome to The Rundown. I'm your host, Joy Fagan, and joining me is Tabitha Jordan and also Chris Fagan.
Hey guys, welcome back to another right-on-time edition of this week's episode of The Rundown. Thank you guys, friends and fans, for joining us on another episode of The Rundown. Before we get started, I want to go over how the show is going to go today. So, guys, if you want to join, that's the first time she's seen it.
That's the first time I've seen that slide. I was like, ah!
Guys, if you want to catch us live, I got a script that I got to read through here, people. Join us live right here on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook. Oh, I didn't think the logo was going to be in the way. Oh, it's not. Anyway, we're going to go over entertainment news. We're going to go over trending topics, reviews, and reactions. And if you're joining us live, hit those comments, send those comments in, and let us know what you guys are thinking. If it's a super chat, we'll definitely interrupt the show for one of those and talk about what you guys want to talk about. Let's get right into it because I am 10 minutes behind schedule as always because I'm just so awesome. Nixon, are we good? She said let's go, but I'm assuming it sounds great. I'm assuming you guys can hear us. What's the first topic of the week?
Entertainment news.
Entertainment news. Okay, so for entertainment news, we are going to discuss, what was the first thing on entertainment news today?
The Hollywood Reporter and Snoop Dogg and his biopic that's in the works.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg's biopic. Guys, so it just came out that rapper Snoop Doggy Dogg has a biopic coming out. What is a biopic, you might ask? You guys know what a biopic is. It's a movie. It is a movie. That plain and simple. A movie about Snoop Dogg's life.
I'm excited, no lie. I actually want to see what it comes out to be.
I love when he narrates the Wild Kingdom. It's pretty hilarious.
Yes.
Universal is producing this one. This one's already been greenlit. There's another reason why this is such interesting news. Mm-hmm. Snoop Dogg, whether you know it or not, Snoop Dogg just recently bought Death Row Records. The record label that, shunned him out. He was kicked out of Death Row. He had to come all the way over here to the South to get protection from the No Limit soldiers. And then after Suge Knight just, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing bad about Suge Knight. I know better. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm brave. I'm not that brave.
All right.
I said when I used to rap, I talk a lot of but I ain't effing with the government. Suge Knight is still a scary dude.
Oh, goodness.
But after all the trials and tribulations, Snoop Doggy Dogg was able to buy Death Row Records. So it's interesting to me that right after Snoop Doggy Dogg obtains the rights to all of Death Row Records, now he's ready for this movie to come out, which means when this movie comes out, it's going to, re-energize everybody about all those hits from Death Row, California Love, all the songs from Tupac, everything that Death Row, because the people who previously bought Death Row Records, they weren't making any money off of it. Nobody was really doing anything with it. But a movie will always generate buzz about old songs. This also happened with Straight Outta Compton. It also happened with them when Straight Outta Compton came out. All those old hits with NWA got popular again. Joy, you said you are excited about this.
I love Snoop. I mean, I remember it's been forever ago when he had like a series on MTV, weekly series, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that comedy show.
It was a comedy, sketch comedy show. And it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was all
He's
that
a riot.
funny.
He is funny, and I think people think that he's just always serious, and he's not.
not.
No, I mean,
he's really not.
His stuff with Martha Stewart,
oh my
that
God.
stuff's hilarious.
That's the best stuff that he's ever done.
I mean,
For some reason,
he
that
made her
collaboration is the best.
relatable.
Please tell me y'all saw their advertisement for the Bic lighters.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen that. I'm
It
still
was-
convinced that they've had. Never mind. You know what?
course.
Filter between mouth and I'm just gonna not go there.
Hey, You let them be secret lovers, please.
Yeah, look at guys. Say, send a super chat if you think. Let us know what your theories are about Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart. But
I love what he said though, like what he was talked about, like doing this biopic, and what he said about his legacy, and I'm kind of interested to see how he wants to tell his story. So I think I'm quite fascinated. I want to see it.
It is a fascinating story. I mean, from the murder was the case situation with the whole on trial for murder, for him being looked at by Congress about his lyrics, and in the 90s, that's when hip hop music was heavily attacked and was on the chopping block about censorship and stuff like that. And he was one of the people who was really targeted. Snoop Dogg was my favorite artist until I was introduced to Bone Thugs and Harmony. So he was my favorite solo artist. But then when Bone came in, that was it. That was all of it. So guys, let us know what you guys think about, because I'm excited about it. I think we're all pretty excited about it. Let us know what you guys think about this upcoming biopic of Snoop Doggy Dogg, Death Row. I wonder what it's going to be called. Is it going to be called?
I don't know.
Just Snoop Dogg? Is it going to be called
the D-O-double-G?
I hope he comes up with something like D-O-double-G.
Yeah, What do you guys think it should be called? What do you think?
That's actually, I think that would be interesting.
D-O-double-G?
I think D-O-double-G is quite
just
good.
called Dog, and then then hyphenated D-O-double-G. That would be a good one.
I want it spelled out. I want D-O-double-G.
What? Okay. All right. Put it in the comment section what you guys think this movie is going to be called. I want to run down your guys' thoughts on that. So let us know what you guys think about that, and maybe we'll talk about it on an upcoming We Got Your Mail. Before I move on to the next topic, I forgot to mention that at the beginning. During the show, send us your thoughts, your questions, your comments, your concerns, your theories, anything like that. And at the end of the show, for the We Got Your Mail section, that's when we're going to read over all of your guys' thoughts. All right, moving on to the next topic. Babe, what is the next topic?
From Variety, Dark Winds actor Zane McClarnon and director Billy Luther on why Native representation in Hollywood needs to go beyond the screen.
This on this article, it's 100% true. I mean, Native American representation has been on the rise, but just like everything else, not by enough, but it's.
If you're going to tell a Native story, it should have Native people writing it and producing it, because it's if you want it to be authentic, they should be the ones telling the story.
There should be representation in all facets of the industry. Yeah. And there's like 2 Native Americans that are in sort of the upper behind the scenes level of the industry. And so to me, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed and adjusted, just so that we have their voice behind the scenes as well. From producers to directors to writers, all that. Show heads it really needs to be way more diverse in that aspect, for sure.
For sure. Like, we're watching that show Yellowstone, and we love it. And by the way, Yellowstone the new season starts this Sunday?
13th.
I've not seen it.
We were shocked to find out that the main actress was not Native American.
And
I thought that show was gonna make sure.
I mean, I'm sure if we dug deep enough, she'll say that she
has some percentage.
But I really couldn't find it.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna split hairs and talk about like what people say, the technicality of like Native American having Asian descent and things like that. But no, she's Asian. And I know I know a little bit about this, but
it's hard. Because in all truthfulness, my father is almost half Native American, but we don't have that background. We weren't raised there.
Exactly.
We weren't raised anyone around it, so I can't tell that story.
Exactly.
It doesn't really matter that it is my background. I don't have that voice.
Right.
I have nothing to speak of to say, oh yeah, here's what this is. I don't know. I wasn't raised that way.
So yeah, exactly. Without splitting hairs, talking about what the technicalities and stuff. No, I thought every actor on that show that was Native American were all Native American. So I know we have a history in Hollywood where it's like get get the best actress, and if they can look the part,
Yeah.
that's just go for it. Stuff like that, and that's probably the case here as well. But when I saw how everybody else was being represented,
Yellowstone is heavily native.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a big part
and
of the show.
And the
Big
Me
part
Too
of the
movement it wasn't that long ago. So like it was definitely during the time when that show was first greenlit. So I was just shocked. I mean, she's a great actress. I forgot her character's name.
I'm gonna have to refresh. Anyways, it's been a while since the season ended.
And I know this topic isn't about Yellowstone, but it is about Native American representation. But it was just one of my examples where I was like, I just was shocked that she wasn't. I'm not saying that she should be recast or anything like that. I'm like, it's been 4 or 5 seasons
We're
now,
about to start 5.
and I'm not hearing anybody with any uproar. But when I read that article, I was just shocked about that because there's go ahead.
Just real quick, and maybe an opinion. What would you think as an actor should you do because at some point we have to take a step back and be able to present what should happen. Like as an actor, she got this role. She's not Native American. Mm-hmm. Should she turn it down? Should she go, no, you need to cast somebody who is meant to play this role? Maybe it has, like you were talking about, the story, the background, the voice to carry this part. But then you look at it, well, she's an actor. The point is to put yourself into someone else's shoes and to act that part.
It is. I think just from their point of view, they would say, we have a wealth of Native American actresses who don't even get the chance.
Correct.
Yeah.
They don't get the call. They don't get the opportunity.
And they should.
And I'm sure they would say, she's doing a great job, but we have a lot of other people that really know it.
Yeah.
Live this life, and they didn't even get, they got passed over. They didn't even get the call. It wasn't even
in
like
this situation. It's like it's like what's done is done. It's already been a few years, and
that's true.
And she's what I always tell people is you never. Since I'm not Native American, I can't be more outraged than the actual people. So if they are calling for something to happen, then that I understand. If they're not, or if they're not at a certain level or number or whatever, and then there's more positive or towards that actress than negative, then let it be. Like for example, it's like with The Simpsons, when the person who was voicing the character Apu, how he was recast, and the person on the Cleveland show was voicing the Cleveland, who is white. He's always been white, but they recast him with a black voice actor. Stuff like that. I mean, with voice acting, it's easier done. But if there was an uproar about it from the Native American community, then I say recast her. If they're for whatever reason there's not, then maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. If guys, I guess we have to look that up.
I've not heard it.
I've never heard it. But if maybe it's a situation where she's approaching the role with so much respect, maybe she's got a pass
could be that.
Or not, but that's up to them to decide that. Not up to me. But guys, let us know what you guys think about this. I was going to go into the article a little bit more about it, but we talked enough a lot about this, and we got to move on. Let's get into reviews and reactions, guys. Let's do some reviews here. Let's start off with the Whale trailer. We saw The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser. The trailer just dropped. All right, we're gonna go around and talk about what we guys thought about that. Who wants to go first?
I mean, typically that wouldn't be my type of movie, but I love Brendan Fraser and I love Sadie Sink, so I want to see it.
I'm on the same boat as you. I'm just so happy he's back in the spotlight,
which I know
in a positive way.
He was already doing Doom Patrol for quite some time, but really getting really, really back out there.
And, him having to go through all the crap he went through and, coming into a role like this and just, I'm just so happy. I had the biggest crush on him back in the day. So I'm very excited for him to kind of get this ball rolling again for himself.
I'm excited about this one as well because you touched on it a little bit about how the crap that he's gone through in his physical health. I mean, he's since George of the Jungle and things like that, he's had a lot of health issues. He's put his
Yes.
body through a lot where and all this negative stuff happened to him all at the same time, whether when it was his divorce and then when it was his health issues and he couldn't work. And
His
he
essay?
he's gained he gained weight. His legs were like totally shot. Like he had so many surgeries that just totally took him to the brink as far as like finances and stuff like that. He, on top of not being able to work and the thing that you need to and the surgeries and stuff to get you back on, it was all happening all at the same time. So I'm thinking that was one of the reasons why he was the perfect casting for this story type. This is a story about a man struggling with his obesity and all this physical these health issues and whatnot. So I'm thinking this is one of those stories that's probably really was personal for Brandon. And I'm just that one line because that line that he gave at the end of that trailer when he was talking about how people are beautiful and with all the negativity that can come your way, he's still seeing a bright side of it. It seems like Brandon Fraser is that type of dude.
I met him. I actually got to have a conversation with him.
Let's go. Let's hear it. What's up?
So I was on TRL back in the day.
Total Request Live for all you kids that are like, what the hell?
With
Carson Daly.
Carson
The
Daly.
TV played music.
Yes, when the TV played music.
Bye.
And I got to dedicate the number one song.
Oh my God.
I know.
She really did that.
And
That's going to be a clip. Thank you, TikTok.
And yeah, he after he was doing the first Mummy.
Okay.
He was doing all the show stuff for the Mummy, and I was like gushing, like super freak fan because I loved him from Encino Man and all that crap. So he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm doing really well. I love you." And
He's like, I get that a lot.
I was like 17 at the time, and and he was the sweetest man. And I mean, just genuinely kind, not a creep, not a weirdo, like
Keanu Reeves kind.
Yes, he was just genuinely kind and was just asked me. He's like, "Oh, what school do you go to? Where are you from?" Like, it was really kind about it and just engaged. And I still to this day fawn over that memory.
Right.
It's great.
He was opposite R. Kelly. Huh?
Oh my God, so opposite R. Kelly.
Well, guys, let us know what you guys thought about did you get a chance to see the trailer for the upcoming movie from, what's it, A24? It's an A24 production of The Whale. It's already definitely it's an Oscar contender. It looks like it's going to be one of those tearjerkers.
Yes.
So watch that. Let us know what you guys think, and let us know on the comment section, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later. Moving on to the trailer that I know one person here on the panel has been dying to talk about. Okay, so there was another little nobody movie trailer that just dropped that nobody cares about. John Wick 4. I mean, it's like 4 movies is the new trilogy.
I
right
have
here,
a John Wick tattoo. Okay.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And that is how much.
The John Wick trailer drop. All right, let's go around the table. What was everybody's thoughts on it so far? Let's start with the Brendan Fraser fan, also Keanu Reeves fan.
No, Keanu Reeves is my soulmate.
Keanu Reeves, if I'm not mistaken, is the person you would try to.
I would try to be straight for him.
For Keanu Reeves.
I would try
think we would all
really, really hard.
Yeah. He might convince me into a certain type of I would call it a boy crush.
Yeah. I love the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
Love them. I literally have a John Wick tattoo. I love them so much. But I'm really excited. I was a little kind of worried about where the storyline was going with a couple of things they showed in the trailer with him asking the question, "Do you believe your wife can hear you?" And
that scene in the movie when he was talking with Donnie Yen. How excited are you about Donnie Yen being in this movie?
I'm very excited actually. And then I was like, wait, where are we taking this? I really liked how the storyline was going and the way that they were doing that? Are we like throwing in some new angles here?
I mean, this is right after he was now the target by every assassin,
yeah.
right? And he's like, I'll kill them all.
Yeah.
Like this now. This is.
It seems like we're really going to get deep into
correct. And like
the who,
whole
the what, the when, the where,
the why, what
all
the
of
system
it.
is,
Yeah.
what the system that he's a part of, this thing that he's been like that he's known for, and its inner workings, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited I want that part of the story. I'm a little worried about the whole like, do you think you're? And then his response being, even if she can't, like. Him asking if he talks to her, and I was like, "What? Where is this
just in case I'm wrong?" Yeah, that's what he was kind of saying. Like, I don't believe she can hear me, but just in case,
yeah,
just in case. Like, if like I'm an atheist, but if I'm wrong, I'll repent on my deathbed. Kind of a situation. Like that's what it kind of made me. That was the joke it made me think about. But I'm looking forward to this, and it looks like in this scene right here that he's got a way out of the predicament that he's in, where all these assassins are coming for him. And I'm excited about the fact that it seems like in this trailer, the whole, like, what was the feel that we got from the first movie, the Baba Yaga, the person who can, the guy who can kill the Baba Yaga. That's who he's about to become again. I mean, of course, obviously, he's always that character.
He's always that guy, but he was retired.
It feels like he's definitely that Baba Yaga killer guy again. Like this is the situation where, because in the first movie, it was like. Every time his name came up, it was like, oh wow, you slapped my son. Well, because he stole John Wick's car. Oh, okay, I understand. It's like the second John Wick's name is mentioned, it's like total respect. By the third movie, it's like, send some assassins. We can. It was like, what the hell? I thought John Wick was the guy that nobody really wanted to mess with. But now I feel like we're about to get back to that. This movie is going to bring us back to that. John Wick is the guy that we don't want to mess with anymore.
Well, and what you're also. So he is a different version of himself, and they do make that. Why you got to do that to the lesbian?
What did I do?
Yeah, that's a very lovely.
I get it. Oh, okay, I see what I did there. Okay.
You very much distracted me.
The tingle.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
God.
Okay.
He's still a very, what they really are setting up is he is a different version of his killer self. He is only killing, like if you even notice some of the times where he doesn't kill or where he sets a precedent of doing something different in like what the normal behavior would be almost. And so I think they're really trying to develop that, yes, he is this person that will do these things if necessary, if you force his hand to do it, versus where he's gotten his boogeyman name from, being he just killed because he was told to, because that's what he did. And he killed to get out of it. He killed everybody that he was told he had to kill to get out of it, and now he's back in it. So now he's trying to do it a little bit different is the vibe I get, but we'll see how the movie goes.
Lawrence Fishburne is back again. I love that line in the trailer where he's like, everybody's got to look good for their wedding or their funeral.
Yeah,
that was a pretty awesome line. And of course we got the Scars guards.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're on Disney Plus. They're on. They're damn
Are we
near
complaining?
I mean, no, of course not.
Are we complaining?
I'm just trying to figure out who that person is that's going to be that final fight. That person that thinks that they can beat John Wick. Is it him or is it one of the other fighters? I'm wondering if it's
the final fight in the video.
I'm wondering if he's that guy. That he's because I think they said there's a person out. If I remember correctly, hearing about the plot, that there's another assassin out there that thinks that he's more skilled than John Wick, and I'm wondering if Skarsgård is the guy.
You think so?
He might. I mean, we've already in this trailer we saw everybody else action, but we didn't see any action from Skarsgård. Well, we saw some action from Donnie Yen, his character from is it Hiroyuki Sanada?
Yeah,
they fight. That's why I got these two stills together. They're fighting each other in a scene that was awesome.
Yeah.
But so I'm wondering where is Skarsgård is the one that's going to be the final boss, the person that thinks that he's more skilled than John Wick. I'm looking forward to it, especially this scene right here. He's got blocking bullets with bulletproof suits and swords. This gun fool is
The
awesome.
fighting is so good in these movies, guys. Like, it's so good.
Joygasm is,
Yes.
I think, the word that we all want to use. Guys, let us know what you guys thought about the John Wick movie. I can't wait to go see it. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll talk about it maybe at the end of the show for We Got Your Mail. Moving on to Interview with the Vampire. We're going to try to go through this really fast. Yeah. Episode 5 and 6. Interview with the Vampire. Let me.
And you haven't seen 7 yet.
We have not seen. I know you got the AMC Plus.
I know. I got the Plus package.
Yeah. Okay. We're 5. We're still at 6. Okay. 5. Episode 5 and 6. Okay. Look. Okay. Let's go down. Okay. Episode 5 of Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. A vile hunger for your hammering heart. Opens with Daniel Malloy. I said the name wrong last week. Malloy and Rashid discussing Claudia's diary. Malloy fixated on a section of. Oh, I got those notes here. You don't got.
I know.
I
was just fixing the paper.
My bad. Malloy fixated on a section of the diary in which Claudia records the final words of her victims as. He watches Louis feed from Rashid's neck in horror. Still devastated by her accidental murder of Charlie, withdraws from her companions. Neither Louis nor Lestat so much as lay eyes on her for months. When Claudia returns home, she is startled to find Lestat lying in her coffin waiting for her. They confront her about the kills. She describes in her journals as she has burnt no corpses in their incinerator. That whole situation. But like her collecting bodies and whatnot, I'm like, what went through your mind when you first by that part of the show?
About her collecting. What do you mean the body parts?
Yeah, the fact that she had when they started finding out that she was killing people, but she wasn't incinerating them. She was being sloppy. Remember that?
Well, it's just typical of a child.
That's what I was like. This is like teenage move 101.
Yeah. She thinks she's doing a great job. Like, I didn't leave them out. I hid them, and they're like, where? I threw them all in the water. Louisiana.
Yeah.
We're about to have a storm. They're all going to wash up, and they did.
Right.
Yep.
And they all just appear. It's just bodies everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then her even taking the little trinkets.
Yeah.
Like that's even
that's serial killer faux pas 101. Like, what trophies? Really? What are you taking trophies for?
They're just like scattered about the house.
Yeah, and this is literally just, honestly, in my mind, this is juvenile behavior.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like they're really setting that in that she is a child doing these acts.
Yeah.
And so therefore her childlike mind is creating childlike behavior within these very adult acts. And so I think that they did well really representing that in this.
Yeah. So in the speakeasy, a recent hurricane has unearthed, and we were just talking about that a second ago, unearthed over 50 corpses and caused them to float along the waterways and wash ashore near Louis and Lestat's townhome. Each of the corpses is missing some body parts, and so Anderson warns them that the police would soon be coming over to their house. That whole the situation was
they were already there.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't like they'll be there tomorrow. It's like no, it's
they're
like now.
They're there right now. Yeah,
yeah.
Already searching.
Yeah, that whole situation was so crazy and it was very tense. When they arrive. I'm trying to do two things at the same time. When they arrive home, the police are already inside while Lestat, Louis, and the deputies accompany an officer outside to examine their incinerator. Claudia attempts to hide the body parts she stole and having found nothing to tie them to the bodies, the officers leave. Then the officer taunts the two men, telling them to...
I mean, she had like a full body.
Yeah, did you see the one in the car? And it was like all...
Like, yeah, dude, he was still alive, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was still like...
My favorite was when they pulled it all out and put everything on the table, like...
Look at all this stuff.
Look at all this stuff you
What
saved.
are you going to say about it?
Exactly. And you guys got to hit me on that.
Sorry.
No, that's fast. Let's get it moving. After the police leave, Louis and Lestat, where am I at on here? After the police leave, Louis and Lestat disagree about the proper way to discipline Claudia for so nearly exposing them. They bicker like an old married couple. They essentially are. Claudia erupts in anger, unable to stomach watching a lover squirrel, she reveals to Louis that Lestat has been canoodling with Antoinette again before storming upstairs. Louis and Lestat are forced to radically change their lives in the wake of Claudia's departure. Her recklessness has drawn scrutiny that wealth alone cannot deflect.
They basically have to just live in the darkness for a couple of, several years.
Several years, yeah. He was like basically going to ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Claudia exits a majestic library later on as a student. In a varsity jacket, accuses her of stealing. She is rescued from the interaction when another vampire, Bruce, who whisks her into the woods where they share a meal and conversation. He tells her the story of his creation. The conversation quickly turns when Bruce offers Claudia a book on etiquette to teach her to be a nice young lady.
Like
that was so creepy.
All my feminism just rose.
You need to be nice.
And I was like, oh, this is not going to go in a way that I like, and it did not.
She was
let me show you. What
She
you
was
need to
visibly
do.
uncomfortable and drops the book in the fire and attempts to flee. He lashes out, disables her, and scolds her for her rudeness.
Basically went to we can do this the easy way.
We can do this the easy
Which
way
would you
or the
like?
But both ways are his way.
Yes. One way or the other, it's going to go down.
Right. 1930s Louis reads a newspaper article about a string of mysterious deaths on the college campuses across the southeast loud. He receives a phone call from his sister, Grace, later on. She asks to meet at the mother's grave. She explains that her family is moving north. Their finances have been destroyed by the stock market crash. She tells him that this is a permanent goodbye, moves the flowers that she had brought with her to her mother's grave to reveal a second line beneath his mother's name, her beloved brother, Louis de Port du Lac, and the date of his death is October 1930. When Grace is gone, Louis screams out in pain. Unknowns to Louis, Claudia had been watching him, seeing him heartbroken over the rejection of his sister. She returns home.
Calling to her night and day.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
In his mind talk.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things Bruce picked up on. Who's that?
Yeah,
that
he
keeps
heard
calling?
her name, yeah. On the wind.
But it's funny how it took after meeting another vampire and getting assaulted. That's what caused her to
her
to
biggest
go wrong.
problem with Lestat was that he would not tell her anything about other vampires.
Right.
He would not give it was like parenting 101 fuck up.
Yeah.
It's the because I said so.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do.
Just explain. Maybe even if it's I can't explain this to you right now, but I will give them something to look forward to. But the fact that he just kept that closed door and wouldn't say anything really, really is what pushed her to go out and try to find other things. And then unfortunately, because he was so controlling and pushed her out, bad things happened. If he would have just been honest, then it wouldn't have been so bad.
And he was kind of cocky after when she came back, like he was after that. I was about to say something, getting ahead of it. We'll get there. It was funny how. You know what? Never mind, because we're about to get there right now. I'm about to get ahead of ourselves. So she reveals that during her time away in the college libraries, she had been studying vampire myths from around the world, and that she wants Louis to accompany her to Europe to continue the research. Lestat and Claudia both beg Louis to stay with them. Claudia attacks Lestat's character, describing him as an abuser, unworthy of Louis' love. He grabs her by the throat, intended on fighting her. Louis jumps in, and the two of them scuffle. Louis tosses Lestat around the room. This is it. This is the big fight. Around the room, getting pummeled, all while Louis is attempting to console Claudia telepathically. I thought that was interesting. The fact that while he was fighting, he was still going, that's okay.
That's the typical abused parent. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. I'm okay. You'll be fine.
That's what happens in domestic violence situations.
Lestat ultimately beats Louis. Claudia catches up to them and drags Louis' body onto the street. He lifts Louis, bites him on the neck, and then the two fly off into the cloud. He demands to be let go, and then Louis dropped him. The reveal that Louis could fly. it was funny because I forgot that Louis flew
mean
in
Lestat?
episode 1. I'm sorry, that Lestat can fly. And it was revealed on the first episode that he can fly. I forgot all about that flight because it was a lovely flight.
Yeah. It was a different kind of flight.
This was a different type of experience. So that was very interesting. I thought, but yeah, that whole situation, that line about just tell me you don't want me, or tell me that you don't love me. Like you want, like, give me a reason to like end this like permanently. And Lestat doesn't say exactly what he wants him to say, but he says just let me go. And it kind of felt like The Dark Knight. That's why I got the poster behind it. Like The Dark Knight when the Joker was holding Rachel at the window. He's like, let her go. Very poor choice of words. Just drops him to the ground. And then he leaves after the fight is over. But yeah, that rounded off episode 5. Okay, it was a great episode, but I expected more. I was like, okay, the big fight. I was like, that's the thing that everybody was shocked about. I was more impressed with episode 6 than I was with episode 5.
I think for me, what they were really trying to convey was the abuse that was relevant even in these vampire worlds where it's supposed to be sort of the better of humans in a sense. So like that there's still domestic violence between these two people, that there's still essays that are happening, and that there's all this trauma that is causing a lot of the behaviors that they do, and trying to humanize these monstrous behaviors. That to me was the purpose of this episode, and what the shock was. So not so much that, there was this fight scene and this fight scene was dramatic, but that there was this fight scene amongst these lovers that are supposed to be a family, and that there was this thing that happened, and he is literally showing his toxicity within the relationship and his abusiveness outright, instead of his abusiveness being very passive. Because he had been very passive and very psychological in his abuse before, whereas now it's straight out, okay, here's the actual violence. Here's the actual abuse. The mask
finally slipped,
Yeah, and most narcissistic, abusive people, it slips at some point, and this was the moment that they displayed within the show for their relationship, which I thought they did it in a way that was still very relevant to the story and really created that issue with their relationship, because a lot of people don't know about the story going beyond them two, because all they saw was an interview with a vampire from back in the day, and that there's whole other storylines that come into play.
Exactly. Well, okay. Let us know what you guys think about episode 5 of Interview with the Vampire. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more on later. We Got Your Mail kind of show. On episode 6, we'll run down it real fast. Like Angels Put in Hell by God. This episode, let's see where we are on it. It's right here. Okay, yeah. This episode opens up ultra close on Lestat. His skin surveying the damage and the repair that's being done in his broken. Did I put Lestat or Louis?
Yeah,
Louis.
Louis.
It says Louis right here, and I said Lestat.
Yeah.
I don't know why, like these L names. Obviously, that's obviously Louis. His broken body, as you can see right here, and he's being fed rodents by Claudia to eat.
His handmaid, nursemaid.
Yeah.
Well,
she's awfully tough nursemaid too. Like I was like, dang. I mean, she's compassionate in the sense that she's taking care of him, but she's also like stone cold faced. I was like, damn.
Well, I think because she's older.
Yes.
And so she's also angry with him.
Oh yeah, she's very angry.
She's the other side going, why are you letting him do any of this?
Yeah.
She doesn't understand the tolerance that he has for her, and which is such a
she wants it to be what all the outsiders of the world want it to be, the easy way. Just leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And
why don't you just leave? Why do you keep taking it?
Literal definition of how domestic violence goes down, and like when kids are dying for their parents to get out of the situation and they don't. It really did just take on that role really well.
And of course they
messed up something.
Heal. But because he's so badly hurt, it's a very slow healing process.
Yeah.
And later on, Malloy and Louis continues their conversation about Lestat's so-called cloud gift, the ability to arise at will. Louis returns to his story. Lestat has not returned, and neither of them is much interested in hearing from him. They ignore all the phone calls to the house. Claudia refuses to let him in. He insists of seeing Louis, accusing her of keeping them apart. Louis speaks for himself by tossing Lestat's coffin out the window. I thought
that was brilliant.
That was hilarious.
I was like,
what does Louis have to say about Blue?
That's your answer.
Yeah, there's your damn answer. Like, babe, like, come on, let's work it out. Like that, there was no radio over the head, you know.
Well, and it always, as you see with the whole episode, it starts out strong. F you, dude. Don't ever come back. And then as the time passes, it just keeps getting weaker and weaker.
Yep. That's what happens. They wear you down.
That's what happens.
Where she keeps reminding him,
yep,
be strong. Yeah. Be strong. You can do it.
3 years later, Lestat drives up besides them in a shiny new Rolls Royce. He begs for forgiveness and swears he can change. This relentless flow of gifts and pleas for forgiveness continue for decades, and Louis begins to lose his resolve. A record arrives in the mail along with a note. It is Lestat's newest composition, his first in 100 years. Louis puts the record on and is moved by the beautiful music and lyrics but Antoinette's voice singing then infuriates him. He gives Lestat the reaction he's been looking for all along, storming into the home and bedroom Lestat shares with his other lover, confronting them in bed. Antoinette is thrown out, and Louis, dripping wet from having swum the Mississippi River in search of Lestat, replaces her. I thought that was kind of funny. I thought that I didn't expect. I didn't know that's why. I thought it was just raining or something like that. He's like, dude, you swam across the Mississippi to confront my lover, the other woman.
I was so disappointed. I mean, granted, I knew it was coming, but I was so disappointed in Louis
that
he went back in that moment, because he was even pissed about the song.
Yeah. It's like, dude,
Lestat knew what he was doing. He knew by putting her on there, it would trigger him. Maybe this will get him.
Finally get the reaction that he's...
Yeah, and so it bothered me so much. I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I know you're going to do it, but don't do it. Like one of those moments. But, I was like, you're falling for it.
Yep. And then, let's see. Louis and Claudia set rules for Lestat to return, defining a hands-off relationship with Claudia, forbidding outside affairs and banning lies, including those of exaggerations or omission. I'm glad they mentioned that.
Yes.
Louis asks if Lestat was responsible for Paul's death, but Lestat denied it. He tells them of Magnus, his maker. They talk about that.
So this is what I was talking. This scene right here was what I was mentioning last week about how they humanize him. They give him some redeemable qualities.
Of course.
Because now he has trauma. Now he has a reason to be the way he is.
It's not my fault that I'm an abuser. I was abused.
Yes. Yes.
And it helps Louis, but Claudia's still like, I don't care.
I know. She's like,
do not care.
Yeah. She goes like, and my favorite, she's like, don't get it twisted. I am not doing this for you. I am doing this for him. And I was like, oh, okay.
And of course, Louis is like, well, pretend better. And she's like, I don't. That's not my thing.
You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
The humans in the mist grow more suspicious of. I'm sorry, where am I? Right here. Here I am. The humans in the mist grow more suspicious of them as time passes, with increasing frequency. Sigils, voodoo dolls, Bibles, and other symbols of protections are left outside their door. As such, they spend more time in the park. The three sit on the same bench night after night. Lestat complains that Louis is judgmental about the fact that they feed off humans, and both are surprised when Claudia agrees. Louis decides to stop feeding only on animals and to join his companions in hunting vampires. When Lestat returns home later that evening, Claudia demands to know where he's been. He tosses. Let me move this out there. He tosses her a folded up newspaper. She unfolds it to find Antoinette's obituary wrapped around a purple ring finger. Turns out Lestat isn't trying as hard as he's leading his family to believe, escaping not to his hunting ground, but to Antoinette's bed. He complains to her, declaring how he needs her to survive them. She begs him to run away with her, reveals that he has added her to his brood as a vampire by giving her the dark gift. I didn't think that she was a vampire by that point.
Her?
Yeah.
The girlfriend?
At this point.
I don't.
Or before, but yeah, she is a vampire by this point. The whole cutting off the finger was before he turned her.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And forgot to do the webpage. Let's see. Louis has finally. Oh, am I getting ahead of myself? Louis has finally broken and has allowed the numbness to take over. Let me change it. He does not confront Lestat about Antoinette. Claudia tries to get Louis to board a train to New York. He refuses. She is determined to go, telling him to come find her in Europe when Lestat inevitably hurts him again. I thought that was interesting, part of the conversation. With Claudia gone, Louis considers suicide, but returns home anyway. When he arrives, he finds Lestat inside listening to the radio with Claudia. That this was her choice is obviously a lie. In truth, Lestat had followed her and demanded she return. That he has known about Bruce. That he could summon that monster if he wanted to. He brings her home and warns her that if she attempts to leave again, he would kill her. Yeah. Claudia is more determined than ever to free Louis and herself from what she sees as slavery of Lestat's grip on them. She believes that Lestat killed his maker and that's the only way that they could also be free.
Correct.
So she's like, I will find out the way.
Yeah. That will take to
and
get
the
out.
only thing they have is the fact that Lestat can't read their
That's
minds.
the only advantage that they have.
I cannot
to
wait.
each other.
I cannot wait for y'all to watch.
Isn't episode 7 the last episode?
Yes. I cannot wait for y'all to watch episode 7.
Just like you non-AMC Plus peasants, get on board. I already know what happens. If anything like the movie, I'm sure she's gonna slit his throat like what's her name did to Tom Cruise. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. Moving on to the last part. In the present, Malloy has passed out on the couch. His dream brings him back to the fateful night in 49 years prior to when he first met Louis. The memory plays out exactly as it always has. He lets Louis buy him a drink and agrees to go back to his room for the interview. Just before the two leave the bar, another man stops to speak with Louis. Malloy now recognizes that the man as Rashad, prompting him to be startled when he wakes up. I didn't get that at first. I didn't realize.
Just wait.
So we have theories because Joy was like.
I just assumed it was like a fever dream because he was.
Like they were talking about how we're not remembering things accurately, right?
Well, and like normal people do, our dreams frequently are weird.
Well, and
things
we also
mix together. We combine things.
So no spoilers for episode 7.
I know, but I don't know if y'all know this, but when you dream, you cannot make up a face. So you have to use faces that you've seen, even if that face doesn't belong to the person that it's representing in the dream.
And he had a treatment and passed out, so I just assumed.
Your medical side kicked in, and you're like, he's got a fever dream.
I assumed maybe he was another vampire, but Joy was like.
He's been around them all this time, so that's the guy who appeared, even though that's not who was there at the time.
Yeah. What if he's Lestat's maker? I'm thinking that. But you were like when he fed off of him like he was a human being. I'm like, well, Lestat bit Louis. So vampires bite vampires all the time.
And another thing to think about, he was in the sun.
No.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's been
in the sun.
They were just in that room where
before
shades, the curtains
drew. The shades can change.
He's been in the sun.
Is he the equivalent of Aaliyah?
Is he a daywalker?
Is he the equivalent of? Because if you become so powerful, then eventually you can walk in the sun. Is what I remember. Or maybe not. Maybe he's that powerful.
I can't wait for y'all to watch.
Guys, well, let us know what you guys thought about episodes 5 and 6. Put your comments below, and if you've seen episode 7, no spoilers. We're not there yet. I ain't talking to you about that. And you guys on TikTok, y'all better behave too. No spoilers. No spoilers. Let's move on to the next, the last thing on the review, Joy and I, we got to see a screening of Wakanda Forever. We're not going to give any spoilers away on this one. We're not going to talk spoilers. We're just going to talk about what we thought about the movie overall. Babe, you want to go first?
I will say the difference between you and I is that I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole thing, start to finish. Loved it. Cried several times. It was great. You, on the other hand,
I was judgmental
was getting angry about things, whereas I wasn't. I was like, "This is just
You're getting
good."
angry about original stories?
Of the could have beens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was, because I'm
Or the
definitely,
should have beens.
I'm a part of the recast T'Challa movement and all that. And I understand it was a difficult choice whether they do, damn if they do, damn if they don't.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'll say this: the story that we got with what they had to work with was done brilliantly. I loved the villain. I loved the story. I was curious the whole time. Is this 100% the story that we were gonna get if Chadwick would have lived? If T'Challa was in the mix here, is this a different direction that they decided to go because of the death? That's all that kept jumping around in my mind. And there were a lot of scenes where I kept saying to myself, this would have been better if T'Challa was doing this. I kept doing that a lot.
That's not fair.
I just watched it for it.
For the movie itself.
Enjoyed and
But it
loved
was,
it and
but it comes from a situation of knowing that Marvel has never shied away from recasting characters.
Correct.
I mean, when Terrence Howard would not agree to a pay cut when he didn't have to, he wanted to stick to what he agreed to receive. They dropped him and then replaced him with Don Cheadle. When a person has died, they've recast, and so I was like, to me, it felt like it was no different. So it was weird why they didn't recast T'Challa. And I don't want to go into make this a review about the recast T'Challa movie, but while I was watching the movie, it just kept coming back to me. Like, this story it felt like that we've already mourned and we hashed out the loss of Chadwick 2 years ago. It felt like a lot of people were saying that it felt like Marvel was monetizing that grief again. Like, we've already done this. You're doing it again. I'll say this without spoiling anything. There turns out to be a method behind all of it, and there was, to me, this movie was not better than Black Panther, but just story wise, I think that the Black Panther one story was better than this story, but this was still a great movie. How can I say this without spoiling anything? At some parts of this movie, I started to ask myself, do I not hate, but do I just not like this movie? To me, is this a bad movie? I was questioning myself on that. And then by the time the movie ended, that all went away. But when the movie ends, the genius, it all clicked. And I walked out going, that was brilliant. Okay. And my smile returned. This movie gave me ups and downs, roller coasters. I was smiling. I was being too harsh. I was missing Chadwick. I was going through all of it. I was going through this movie did what it was meant to do. It brought me through the whole process again. But at the end, when you come out of that grief, I guess, when enough time has come by and it's time the healing, when you saw the potential of the healing, I can't. I wish I could say it. I can't. There was a moment for me where it was like where it clicked, like on Coming to America when he said that joke about with the spoon. I was like, okay, I'll taste the soup. Where's the spoon? The smile, it wouldn't leave my face. So I know that's not. Okay. Overall, what did I think about Namor? Brilliant. Everything. What was the thing that we said? Shuri, the actress who plays Shuri, to me, to us, didn't feel like it was time where like she could really carry a movie the way Chadwick could, because everybody was acting circles around.
There's a lot of big names in the movie.
Yeah,
that are
and Chadwick could handle himself.
They have
around
chops.
That. Angela Bassett, Lupita Nyong'o, and then whatnot.
Previous movie and in other Marvel clips that she's appeared in, it's small parts.
But she did a good job, and they drew some good. Ryan Coogler drew some great performance out of her. It's just that
that was a lot for her to be carrying.
To be and that started to upset me a little bit. I'm like, because if they would have recast, you could have got another quality actor like on that level to. But even though she did a great job, it was still noticeable.
Angela Bassett better get her accolades for this.
Remember when we talked about that? About Angela Bassett based on the trailer alone?
Because she was fierce.
I am now convinced she is going to be the first Marvel actor to get an Oscar nomination after seeing this.
And she still looks like she could get her groove back at any time, even though she's 70s
oh my God.
something.
And then
Joy trying to get me in trouble about me saying something.
She looks fabulous.
Right? I mean,
she
it's
can
just
still
not fair.
Tina Turner out
I
there.
know.
She
It's
could
just
rock it out.
It's not fair. Oh God.
To be okay.
Oh God.
Look,
He did the eyebrows, y'all.
Without going into any spoilers, look, go see this movie. I thought that I swear the whole movie, like 98% of the movie, I'm thinking I'm going to give this a bad review, and then when it ends. All that pain, all that hurt. I can't talk about it. I'll talk about it like next week when we do spoilers. We'll do spoilers, a spoiler review after we've all watched it.
Yes. I haven't gotten to watch it yet, so I need to watch it.
So go check it out. Let's move on to the last topic before we get out of here. So guys, if you've seen Wakanda Forever, let us know what you guys thought about it, and we'll talk about it. No spoilers. Let's give people enough time to watch it first. But let's move on to the last thing. Why is that trending? This is the part of the show where we talk about the trending topics that happened throughout the week. So, why is that trending? What is the first thing that came up?
Nikita Dragon in the men's unit.
Nikita Dragon was YouTuber Nikita Dragon, a YouTuber that I've never. I thought I had the camera on me. Sorry about that, guys. The camera was supposed to be on me, not her. Nikita Dragon was forced into. She was arrested, forced to stay in a men's jail.
So
do you know about?
Yeah. So what she's saying is she was forced into the male prison area, and she's transgendered woman, and but what I read, their policies are like supposedly she didn't even get like during her processing. All she stayed was in the holding cell, which is I guess a co-op, and there's a guard there the entire time. And when she left, she never got past that part before she left. But she's claiming that she was forced to be with the men, and I think that maybe she may have misconstrued where she was at, because they're saying she was only in the holding cell, like she was.
Was she in a holding cell with another with any other man at any point?
Probably, but she's also. Oh no! They said that she was isolated after her initial booking because of her fame, so to speak, and the danger to her, and then an LGBTQ community officer is who escorted her, is what they were saying.
From TMZ, it's a rep in Miami-Dade Corrections tells TMZ Miami-Dade Corrections and Rehabilitation Department is committed to protecting the rights of transgender community and all of the LGBT people. MDCR has procedures in place for appropriate intake, housing, and medical needs of transgender inmates. And we are committed to ensuring that all inmates in our custody, including transgender persons, are treated appropriately throughout our intake classifications and placement process. Now, okay, so you're saying that maybe that maybe she was put in.
Well, it says that she was placed in a holding cell all by herself due to her high-profile status before she was released.
So she was basically on the men's side of the jail.
She may have been. Well, I think. I don't think she was on the men's side. I think she was in processing. Okay. That the processing is its own area before you get taken to wherever you're going, depending on the jail, mind you. So
It says Nikita Dragon was forced into the men's unit of the local jail after Monday's arrest in Florida.
wait, but who says that? So you're reading what someone is saying.
Right.
She's saying that, which what I think is like, that's not factual necessarily. That's just what she's saying. I think what's happening is she went into processing. She's getting processed. They have holding, which sometimes are co-op, sometimes are men and women, and there's a guard that stands there the entire time.
Okay.
And that then you go to the respective places. Now, it's not to say that she's incorrect, but I just think that there's maybe some misunderstanding about stuff, honestly.
Right.
But she didn't get out of the holding cell. Like, she never got put in actual jail.
Okay. So that's what I was
the whole
wondering. Like,
thing.
was she put in at any point? Was she ever in a cell with other? Because I mean, I know I understand what you were saying. That's the one thing I was wondering about. Like how, because I'm sure this has probably happened before. Like, how crazy
Look,
would that
I'm going to
be?
tell you, I know people that have been arrested, and this is happening now. They've been arrested, and you're supposed to only have women
Search you and
touch other
things like
women.
that.
Well, there was a woman that I knew that got arrested and went to jail, and she was not searched by a woman, and she was SA'd right there, being processed.
Right.
Just because she's going to jail does not mean she deserves to be SA'd. So
Right.
there's absolute corruption and horribleness that are happening in those situations.
and it definitely-
100% agree.
Definitely probably another one of those situations where the arresting officer, knowing that they're transgender or whatever, just doesn't respect it, doesn't
No,
care.
they don't
no,
care.
you're technically about, whatever. So I'm
absolutely.
going to do whatever I want. I'm going to treat you
Absolutely.
like whatever I want.
Absolutely. And and look, I get that she's in jail for a reason, and most people are. That doesn't mean you need to dehumanize them. And it doesn't mean that you need to treat them in such a manner without compassion or empathy, because, sometimes people go to jail and they don't deserve to be there.
Right.
That is not an unheard case.
They have to be able to pay their debt, but there's a process. Let them pay
Yeah,
their debt
yes.
the right way.
Right way.
Not through your creepy, touchy way or all your creepers out there.
Yeah.
So I guess this story wasn't as. I guess there's more to it than I realized.
I feel like there's more to it. We just don't know yet, or like maybe she is misunderstanding the process of what she was going through. Is my personal opinion. I also don't necessarily think that maybe they were doing everything the best possible. Maybe they were screwing up in some ways, and maybe they were not. Maybe she did go to the male side of it, but she never went to the actual jail. She was just in the holding, but. They're saying she wasn't even with any men. Maybe she's just upset because they put her on the men's side, and even though she didn't get processed all the way.
Yeah. And I understand that's what the tagline is meant to do. They call it clickbait.
Oh, yeah.
I read it and I'm thinking, oh my God, the woman was thrown in like maximum security with all these guys. You know what's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but again, this is TMZ. So maybe it was just a clickbaity
It's like
situation.
the tabloids
It's still
at the checkout stand.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Either way, even being in a situation where it could have been that, where it's still a touch too far. Like they should not have had her anywhere near that. Is what I'm saying. So, well, as the story develops, maybe it is what they said it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's more to it. I guess we'll find out later. After that, what was the next thing from the Daily Mail? Was it?
Sophia
Yes.
Rosing checks into
This whole thing on TikTok.
And I don't know who that is.
I
Sorry,
instantly
guys.
got angry when I saw this.
You don't know about the it's all over TikTok about
all over TikTok.
My TikTok is a lot of cats and
So
fart jokes and stuff.
I'm trying to pull it up
Well, this
right
was
now.
like, so I follow a couple of, those people that tend to post the things to like call people out. We need to find them. We need to make things happen. This person did this thing. And so that's where I saw this story. And this chick, and when you read the article and you actually read everything, because it's a long ass article.
Yeah.
This isn't her first sort of like
this is privilege
jaunt
101.
with this sort of behavior.
Okay.
As if you want to know what we're so everybody knows if you don't know, I'm friends with a very famous TikToker named Aunt Karen, and she covers she has a segment called Racist of the Day. And this was one of the things that came up in her feed, and this was when I first got involved with this story. There's in Kentucky. There's this student who's a UK resident, but she's going to school in Kentucky. And I guess she was drunk one night, and she started harassing another student, a black student who was at work doing her job.
A freshman working the desk before you enter a dorm. You have to check in and do all that stuff. So she's working that as her, job co-op work thing. And
the video was her just like
doing her job.
And this girl is attacking her, calling her the N-word over and over so many times.
Up to 200 times in this video.
And it's all caught on tape.
She sings a song with just the N-word. This is the audacity of this chick. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then don't get me started on just down to you are a, effing B-word, you're a you.
And she puts hands on her. She tries to fight.
She puts hands on her, tries to fight her, and the girl is actually doing her best.
The black girl is very patient.
So much patience.
So much patience
I would have knocked this chick out. I'd been done with it. I would. It would have made me angry. But she's being patient. She's just trying to calm her down. She's trying to keep her arms down. She's doing all the holds where you try to plant them down.
Because if she would have hit her once, then definitely that girl, the black girl would have probably gotten in trouble.
I don't freaking this chick.
She was like, I didn't know what I was doing because I was so.
Oh yeah, that's where the outrage comes from. So when she gets in trouble, when they're trying to get. When Aunt Karen tries to get a statement from the school, so they don't expel her or right away or anything. She gets arrested, and even when she got arrested, as you can see right here, she's arrested for the assault and everything. Nothing about it being a hate crime. No hate crime charges. This is a state where you can be charged for hate crimes. None of her charges were about that.
So angry.
And it seems like also people. It seems like that the university also allowed her to withdraw instead of them expelling her. Because if they expel her, it would go on a permanent record.
Correct, and then it would affect her other schooling.
But she withdrew first. And then later the school, I read an article, the school later was like, no, we actually did expel her. It is going to go on her permanent record. But I don't believe that. She's already had another video come out after the fact, not being very remorseful. I'm rich and nothing's going to happen to me kind of a situation. Now she's
said that out loud, by the way.
Nothing's going to happen to me. Now she's checking into rehab. So mommy and daddy are coming in to throw some money at the problem. And that's pretty much what's going to happen.
They donated a new library.
Yeah, she's going to be taking racial sensitivity courses and hoping, and the lawyers all talking about she's going to treatment and she's going to be taking racial sensitivity courses.
Next time you say the N-word, use your N-word.
Yeah, so here's my issue with that. Here's my issue. Claiming that you're drunk being the reason why you said these things. That's not the reason why you said these things. Being drunk does not cause you to say these things. What drunk does is it takes away your filter. Yeah. It takes away your ability to not say things. So these are things that she thinks.
Liquid courage.
It gives you the courage to finally say it out loud.
Be free.
These are things that she feels and that she thinks and that she's saying
in
her head that she's actually probably saying around certain people because of how easily she said it in these situations.
Her parents were quick to be like, "This is not the daughter." Yeah, it is.
It is absolutely the daughter that
Daddy Warbucks gonna sprinkle a little dough. How many euros is it gonna take for me to get out of this one again?
Don't get me wrong. I do not think that we should blame all of our children's choices on the parents because sometimes the children do crap that we do not approve of, but they're already bailing her out of jail. If this was my kid, guess where my kid's ass would still be? In jail.
You better learn something.
Do you know what I would not be doing? I would not be bailing them out. I would not be trying to protect them from this. I would be trying to make them learn their lesson. You deserve to stay in jail. I would be as the parent going to the press going, you know what, we're going to let her sit in jail. She obviously needs to learn some things. We think she needs treatment. Of course. We think that if you did not raise this child, then you would be making an example of your child and that you would be providing discipline in some sort of way.
Drunk or not, that was the actions of a person that knew, Mom. Because even when I did stupid stuff when I was under the influence, I knew how far I could probably take it. I've been straight. I was pulled over one time by a cop, and I was straight up hammered. I knew that if he would have gave me the breath, I knew I was going to go to jail and whatnot. But even drunk, I knew about that lesson that I learned a long time ago. That the reasons why people get most 9 times out of 10 you will get arrested is when you just go blah 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 blah. You're talking too much. Even drunk out of my mind, I knew to keep my mouth shut. She knew that if anything went wrong, mommy and daddy was going to bail her out. So I mean that filter between mouth and brain, even when drunk, sometimes you still know. Oh, I got the courage. I'm gonna say the N word to this girl and fight this girl for no reason and do it. And I know if worst case scenario, mommy and daddy will have. She knew all that. She knew it.
It just
and they did it.
Angry. I just get enraged with the audacity of people being like this.
Yeah.
One, openly in the public. It's one thing when, you know what, we know you're a shitty person, but you do it behind your closed door. I don't have to deal with your shittiness. Fine. You're not doing it out in public. But the audacity of this freaking girl to just treat another human being like this. Just, you know what, be your shitty self to yourself in your own home. Don't be bringing your shittiness outside. Like,
Don't bring. Yeah, there's a good lesson right there. Don't bring your shitty self outside. Don't bring your shitty self outside.
Yeah, people.
And the story is still probably progressing. I'm sure. I'm sure by the end of.
I really hope she goes to jail. That is my hope. I hope.
She's already been arrested, but she's
I want her to go to jail.
something.
The problem is they didn't charge her with hate crimes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the. I'm telling you, and she's not. And they should have. But she's not. I guess let's know what you guys think about that and whatever your thoughts are. Let's move on to We Got Your Mail. That's the part of the show where we just go over any. I don't know if you guys have been monitoring what's been going on in the chats. But is there anything that we need to put a highlight on? Let me see if I got the chat board up.
You should have. I don't see that chat board, so.
Let me.
Somebody was asking about Westworld, and we don't watch that, so I couldn't tell you.
Westworld's getting canceled.
Westworld? Oh, I fucking love Westworld.
Westworld's getting canceled. I don't care. I don't watch it.
It is an amazing show.
I heard season 1 was amazing.
No, it's amazing. I love Westworld. Screw all those people who don't like it.
Screw you haters.
Screw you haters. Westworld is amazing. The concept, the idea, the way that it's, even in its later seasons, it's a really cool concept of the world and what can happen. And that to me is what's amazing about it. But I hate that it's canceled.
Any other questions or anything that we might?
Some people someone made a comment about the Black Panther and the box like
Black Panther or Wakanda Forever. The mess. Let's check it out real quick. I know it's probably you can't really read. Well, let me see if I can make that larger or not. Let's read your guys' comments. There we go.
Here's a joke real quick.
What you got?
What kind of humor do lesbians like?
What?
Tongue in cheek.
You're not the only one.
Did you see your wife's face?
She already knew the answer.
I didn't, but
She goes, yes.
Yeah.
That was a solid yes.
like yes. Craig and Tech, what's going on, Craig? Let's see, 177 millimeter opening. $1 million opening for the Black Panther. Yeah, it's on track to Black Panther's on track to make that much money.
Nice.
Y'all are so far ahead of me on the interview with the vampire.
I'm done.
Oh yeah, she's already done.
I am so done.
Tell me how long. Let me make this a little bit bigger. What's the next one, sir? Or is there anything else?
I can't read it yet.
There's not really. It was them talking about the girl being racist. Anyways, she would have been racist, not drunk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Let me fix this. There we go.
I'm still
Make
angry
it a
about
little
that.
bit bigger. Let's see. What do we got? They use in Texas Nixon. Oh, for sure. See, yeah, I tell you guys, like you gotta when you write your comments, be specific on what you're talking about. Because if you're just reacting to what we're saying, like on the fly, when I come back to it, I'm not gonna 100% know what you guys are talking about. Nixon, Batista, true colors are exposed. Oh yeah, talking about yeah.
One more joke for you from the comments.
What we got?
All right. What's a 3-letter word that starts with gas?
Ass?
No. 3-letter word that starts with gas.
I mean, gas is a 3-letter word.
Uh-huh. So what's a 3-letter word that starts with gas?
Gas. Olean?
That's way more than.
Way more. Car.
Oh. Who wrote that? Who wrote
Very
that?
good.
Who do you think?
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
We also apparently need to buy Snoop's cookbook because it apparently has good stuff in it.
Snoop has a cookbook.
Yes,
well,
Yes,
he
he has a
does.
cookbook.
He
Yeah.
does. I think I have it at
It
home.
has some good recipes in it, apparently.
I'm pretty sure I have it at home,
What the
actually.
hell's wrong with you guys? Black Panther Wakanda Forever, domestic box office,
Well, I mean-
195 to 210. I think it's going to make 200. I think it's going to make 2. Kevin in the chat says, check out the new graphics. They are awesome. Are you talking about the lower third here on the show? Yeah. You see that illustration of that's me and the Hat Master over here on the Rundown logo. I love Snoop. His cookbook. Somebody brought up the cookbook. That said that it's awesome.
Well, I mean, you know,
I mean, what else is
people
he
who
cook-
are hired
They
need to snack and eat.
Yeah, we
So
gotta-
I'm
gotta
sure
stop.
he's mastered.
I
Yeah,
heard it's
the
only
cooking.
made 10 million. Well, the movie hasn't really come out yet. Like 10
Today,
million. What this
today
second?
was
yeah.
like the first day.
Yeah,
that
today is the
people
first
could
day.
go-
It's gonna make a lot more. It's already the pre-sales have already made it. So no questions really in the comments, guys. All right, guys. Okay, well that's it for the this episode of the Rundown, guys. Thank you guys for joining us on TikTok and on Twitch and on Facebook and on YouTube.
On all the places.
On all the places that you guys once again we appreciate you guys for dealing with us for an hour and 15 minutes and counting over here, guys. If you want to follow me and send me your questions or comments, concerns, you can always do that at T3 Medias on our social media anytime you want to reach out to us. And like I said, maybe we'll put that on an episode of We Got Your Mail if we get a good collection of questions that you want us to answer. I am Chris Fagan. You can always reach out to me directly at Chris W. Fagan or at T3 Medias, like I said, if you want to ask me anything. And joining me, as always, navigating us through the show is my lovely wife, Joy Fagan. If people want to reach out to you, where can they do that?
My TikTok is Just Joy. Instagram is Scrub Hats and More by Joy. And I have an Etsy store that is Scrub Caps and More by Joy. Couldn't be more confusing, but I'm out there.
And the lady here who promised us a bunch of lesbian jokes and did not deliver because she had to make sure her fans were entertained on TikTok.
First of all, I did not deliver because somebody ran the show late and long. Mister, I got jokes. They're right here. I gave you several.
You gave us enough.
All right.
But where can they find you online to not get those jokes?
You know what? I'm about to hurt him. You can find me on the Ticker Talkers at Let's Have Fun 012, and then on Instagram at Tabitha.Jordan.18. That's me.
When will you be invading children's dreams to, to kill them in that sweater?
If you don't lay off my sweater,
It's sweater weather.
it is sweater.
Well, it will be. It's not really one today, but it's coming.
He hates my
Coming.
sweater, y'all. I mean, come on.
I will be waking up screaming every day for the rest of my life because
I
of that
love
sweater.
this sweater. I just got it.
I'll borrow it, and I'll wear it.
Well, if you like it, I love it. Guys, that's the show. If you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns